Good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you're watching from today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you took the time to join me and, just come past through and check me a little bit. I am your hostess with the mostest and always here to give you some common sense commentary on what's happening in social media or also, you know, in popular culture. Sometimes those two are one and the same, but you can always count on me to have something to say, to share my opinions, and I also want you to feel free to share yours as well. I'm always glad to see you. Like I tell you, you don't have to ring the doorbell. Just come right on in. As you can see tonight, I'm in my closet. This is my favorite place to be because I just love, tooting around in here. It's quiet, is where I can do my thing without the kids bothering me, the hubby calling me. And you know how it is, ladies. You need that little, a little she shed, as they call them, for you to, get away from it all. It's Friday, TGIF. And so we're getting started a little bit early today. We have breaking news. Breaking news. And sources have confirmed, and we did see the interview with Stephanie Lindsay, who confirmed that there was indeed a raid conducted on the home of Jean Panton, or Jean Panton. And for those of you who don't know, she is the lady that has purported to have, or she's confessed rather, to swindling her clients, or some of her clients, out of approximately $4 million, right? So let's get into it. Before we do so, please like, share, subscribe, rock and come in. I tell you, say you don't have to ring the doorbell, but just ring that check mark and, subscribe and like. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Some are always there, so you can support your girl, show your girl some love, and we'll just move on from there. All right. So yes, breaking news: Stephanie Lindsay's home was raided today, and it said that a thorough search was conducted. Miss Stephanie Lindsay was out there providing commentary on what exactly was transpiring. As I said, Miss Panton is confessed to the theft of approximately $4 million from investors who entrusted her with their funds. Some of those people were actually people that worked for her as a courier and in other capacities, and she gave a detailed breakdown as to whom she took the funds from and just how much she took from each. It appears that Miss Panton was very, very meticulous, because she went step by step as to exactly how she did it, and she told why she was meticulous. It appears that she was always in preparation to possibly being caught or possibly having to give some sort of accounting for the funds. But this went on for, it appears, over almost 10 years, right? So that's a lot of time to go without having any oversight. It shows that there was no auditing measures in place. There was no compliance measures in place, no second, third, and fourth level check measures in place. It appears you could just run amok with these people's money at this company. A few interesting things that came out of it is that she totaled the sum to about $4 million. Now, keep in mind, Usain says his funds that are missing are approximately $12 million. This is all U.S. money, guys. This is all U.S. money. All right. This is not pesos. All right. This is not, your trinkets from the tooth fairy. These are large sums of money, right? So collectively, there were more people that were also robbed of their funds, and those total to about $1 billion, right? So Miss Lindsay is accounting for $4 million. Now, think about it. Usain is missing 12, and altogether it's about $1 billion. So that leads us to conclude that there were a lot more players in this chess game. Not only that, that theft and fraud and swindling was pervasive in this company. And I believe that's a clue she was also giving with how meticulous she was with listing, because Usain Bolt was not on the list of people that she, laid out in her confession of having take their money, right? So we'll get back to that a little bit later. Now, with regards to the raid today, it is said that they're searching for documents. They did confiscate some documents. They also confiscated some cell phones. Now let me just say, what self-respecting criminal on that level would still have documents in their house? And if it was that important to the government or these government agencies to really solve this and track down the money, because there's an extensive amount of money laundering involved. It appears some wire fraud. It appears, embezzlement, as I told you all the other night, embezzlement, offshore accounts, holding accounts, subsidiaries of subsidiaries. So, it's an intense search that would need to be conducted, and anyone worth their salt, even if you're just playing Blue's Clues, you would know that the earlier you begin your search, the more, apt you are to have better results. So it is just, puzzling to me why the government would have waited this long to go in search of these, documents and cell phones and things like that. It is said that, or it is reported that her attorney was present. So she's already sought counsel. She's already acquired counsel. That counsel, I'm sure, had been giving her a significant amount of advice as to, what she should turn over. And, I don't want to guesstimate on the rest, but I would say that, if she still had documents that would incriminate her in her possession in her home, I would just, be blown over. But in these cases and in these days, anything is possible. Another interesting report is that she was in a wheelchair. So, right away, she's reporting to have health issues. I wouldn't be surprised. I am waiting for her to mention her mental health. She has already, associated the reason for her taking these funds as to, her parents being ill and her having to take care of another sibling that was ill. And she said that sibling had mental illness. So I just knew it's only a matter of time before she mentions something possibly about her own, the state of her mindset, why she took the money. But yes, she was reported to have been in a wheelchair. So Mashur said, Shago, link that to, the state of our health as a reason why she may or may not be as liable for what she did, right? She was not arrested. She was not arrested. Now, like I said the other night, a few months ago or a while ago, well, during COVID rather, there was a gentleman who made some disparaging remarks about the prime minister, and for lack of a better term, him send the prime minister up on their mother. And that same night, that gentleman was arrested. All right. There have been other people. They have the taxi drivers hemmed up, telling the taxi driver them say any of them not pay for them all ticket that what them have, them are gonna suspend them license and them are gonna lock up some of them. And these are people that are just trying to earn a decent living in the conditions that they are. Because the disparity between the wealthy and the poor in Jamaica is so great. As I told you, I was floored to understand just how wealthy Jamaica is just from the tourist industry. Never mind what they make from music. Never mind what they make from all these other industries that's there. So, for them to want to arrest taxi drivers and, possibly prevent them from earning a living when there's so little going on. Soldier now get paid, teacher now get paid, this one now get paid, right? And yet you have someone who has admittedly stolen approximately $4 million that she claims is still walking around. She hasn't been detained. She hasn't even been arrested and made to make bail. She's around. She's in her home. When they left this evening, the raid, she was left at her home. All right. So it tells you the again, the disparity between what white collar crimes, what people who commit white collar crimes can expect when they, have these irregularities versus what your average Joe Schmo, your average Peter and Donovan can expect when they, do things like don't pay their ticket if they're a taxi driver. All right. The house was thoroughly searched. They said they conducted a meticulous search. God bless what that mean. Because if they never lock her up and then wait so long for go search the house, where you think them are gonna find? Who knows? Right? She has given, a lot of this was based on her sworn statement, but my thing is, when she gave, I would imagine, when that sworn statement was being read, I found it, in my mind, I saw her sitting at a little desk in the police station with the bright light over her and the rest of the room dark, and two bad boy policemen, or especially Leng, stand up over her and tell her, I said, listen, you have to go tell what happened. Now, when I think about it in hearing these series of events today, I see her sitting by her pool or sitting in our living room or around the bar in her house, and I drink a cocktail in our wheelchair, and while she was writing it, maybe smoking a cigarette, talking to her brethren them, and she write out what I want, because it appears that there's no need to fear here, right? But then again, who knows if she has not cut a deal with the government to possibly reveal who all the other players involved in this game of financial charade. And that could possibly a reason too why she has not been arrested. So I'll take all that back. Let's not make assumption. Let's see what happens. But because we're also jaded from what we've seen in previous cases in this country, it begs us to sometimes be apathetic to what we actually think will happen when bad people do bad things, but they happen to be wealthy. All right. I don't know. They said the FID was involved. The fraud squad also is involved. Stephanie Lindsay did mention that it is like a puzzle. She did liken it to a puzzle. She never want to get Andre no credit and say it's like a web. She mentioned that it's a puzzle and that each piece reveals a new direction in how the case should go on in terms of the investigative process. But one thing she did mention is that other homes have been searched, and there's, based on what that those searches reveal, it may lead to other things. Like, when they make those drug busts at the airport and them, at least on the TV, that what they show us, and they get the little guy, and then the little guy, they interrogate him, and then the little guy gives up the next middle guy, the guy above him, and then they grab that guy, and that guy gives up the next guy above him. So it's like step therapy, right? It's like a step investigation. So that's what she alluded to, that's going on, that based on the what she uncovers in these searches, it can lead her to other places. But I do believe, based on what Andre Steven reports on his program, a lot of the legwork has already been done, right? A lot of that legwork has already been done. Andre has conducted so much investigation on his own. Him and his team have done a thorough job and an excellent job pinpointing exactly what may have happened to this money and where this money may be as we speak, right? Because I don't believe that money has been spent. And going back to Gia and Panton, I do recognize that the home she purchased is a sizable one, and you see where she's living good. But I don't believe it's 4 million. Just like I don't believe that the amount that she says is reporting that she had to spend, because she said she took the money because her parents needed medical help, and so did a sibling of hers need medical help. But I mean, when you think about it, not even in the US would all that total to $4 million, right? So I'm not quite sure what she did with the rest of the money. It doesn't it's a substantial amount of money to because you can get a good decent house in Jamaica, like even if you want to live large, for a $500,000, right? And if we count that her parents' medical bills total up to another $500,000, or even give it and say it totaled to $1 million. The cost of their medical care was $1 million. And if we want to push it, we can say $1.5 million. So that's $2 million. So what exactly happened to the other 2 million, right? And what excuse does those other people have why almost $1 billion is missing? Did someone need body transplant? Did someone need to be teleported to another planet? Like, what accounts for almost $1 billion in funds being missing? Right? Because whatever the amount they tell you, it's never really that amount. It's usually more, right? But they're going to defer to the lowest that they can without having too many questions asked about it, right? So a lot remains to be revealed. As yard people say, as your grandmother used to say, the fool has never been told. I just feel it's gonna be like, when you're a little kid and you're playing with, outside with your siblings and your brother them, and you turn over a rock and there was a bunch of worm underneath it, and then, then you see them a scatter and a try and move, and then you turn over another one. I really feel that we have not even scratched the surface with exactly what happened with this money. And I believe there's a larger issue at hand in terms of other wealth management companies, because there's not usually just one of these type of people that do things like that. There's usually more, because they have friends, they go to the country club, and while they're on the golf course, they're talking to Peter Thomas Jane or Peter Thomas Smith about how they're able to do this, and it's like, oh yeah, you can do, yeah, I can do that too. And so it's usually something that becomes common in their circle once one person does it, right? So let's just see what happens. I am waiting for Andre to come on tonight, and I'm going to finish cleaning up my closet. I'm just going to stay in tonight, have a glass of, something sweet, something nice, and eat some fruits and chill and wait for Andre to come on. Like I told you guys, I think I'm gonna go live tonight after Andre's show. So anybody who wants to join me, feel free. I'm not gonna stay too long. I'm just gonna do a review as to what he talked about today, because sometimes after Andre ends, it's like I still feel like I could hear more and talk about more, right? So for those of you who feel the same way, come back over, come check me. I could follow up and see what I want. But yes, breaking news. Gian Panton's house was allegedly raided today, or searched today. I'm not even gonna say raided. I'm gonna say search, because raid usually implies that someone got arrested. Someone left out of there with them little silver bracelets on, right? But it appears she's still at home. So we're just gonna say they conducted a search, and then we're gonna see tomorrow, or as the days progress, what the results of that search leads to, or you know, if we can get any leaks, any genies that come out that give us, you know, a little tidbit as to what's going on behind the scenes. So stay tuned, people. We'll have to keep our foot in them neck. And I'm gonna make another video tonight too while I'm waiting, because there's something else I want to talk about, you know, just spend a couple minutes on. So come check me again. Let me say on the door, I have to ring the doorbell, but show your girl some love, no man. Come on, no man. Like, share, subscribe. Lick the like button, lick the notification, because when you lick the like button, you know, every other people get to see it. Even if you don't feel like share it, just, you know, give somebody else the opportunity to see it, and ting, you know. So come check me. And this other topic is gonna be a little bit, it's not gonna be on the topic of what we've been talking about. It's something a little bit different, but you'll see. So look more, see what's going on.